Bikesters! Welcome to the social distancing version of How to Do a Manual with Callan and
Anne-Marie.
We're here to talk about our process of learning how to manual. Neither of us are at the point where we can fully do one yet, but we thought we'd show you how we got to where we're at and what the importance of a manual is.
So why would doing a manual be such a fun skill to learn and so important in the trails? First of all, it's super cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen tons of video of people holding a manual together and really making like some really cool tricks with it. But it also helps with your ability to have a smoother ride, going over rocks. And what's the other one that is important in there?
Helps with your balance as well on your bike. It just
Yes.
helps with bike manipulation and positioning of your body and your bike in space, and just will improve your confidence on your bike.
100%. Now, what we need to do this is a bike. Now, the type of bike doesn't matter. You might have a BMX, you might have a dirt jump like I'm holding right now. Callan have a beautiful Barnaby.
This is Barnaby. It's a full suspension mountain bike, so I have locked out my rear shock for this. One big point of interest is you need to take your chain off in order to manual on a manual machine, and you want to have flat pedals, not clipless pedals.
Yes, that would help a lot. And last thing we should make sure you have is a helmet.
Gotta look
because,
cool.
you know. Okay, so how to do manuals? Well, the first thing that a lot of people start with is to lift the front wheel. So lifting your front wheel is definitely a good thing to do. I'm going to start with what not to do because a lot of people get stuck into lifting the front wheel by using all their arms, and that's very exhausting, and you're just going to have a hard time to actually get to the smooth side. So if you keep your arms locked and you just smoothly lift your bike and learn how to do this.
So I'm starting with my hands off the brakes. I'm pretending that my bike has no brakes at all, and I'm going to go back and just keep my arms straight. I'm not compressing into it and pulling up. I'm keeping my arms straight and pulling back. So you can see my tire doesn't need a lot off the ground, but I want to keep my back nice and solid. I'm not rounding it like this. I'm keeping it kind of stacked, and my arms are straight. So you don't need a lot of height. You just need to start getting the feeling of having your bike going back and forth and up off the ground.
The second skills that you're going to want to learn after you manage to bring your wheels from the front up with not bending your arms, with arms straight, is to have your butt as far as you can behind your back. It does take time, and one of the things that might happen is you might fall behind. So get used to that. So one of the things I would suggest to you is to actually learn how to fall behind. Right? Start by feeling that so you know you're safe. Some people will put a tube to hold their bike so it never go higher than here. You can, by all means. One of the things that I personally find, and I don't know if you feel the same, but is that when I'm on the trail, there's nothing that stops us from going up. So I want to know how to fall behind so I can be in a safe area.
Wheels. So I use the analogy of using training wheels. Sure, it may really help you learn, but that's just another step that you need to get rid of. If you develop the balance in the first place, then you don't need the training wheels and you can just go on to bigger and better things. So that's sort of the analogy of having a strap or not having a strap attached to your front wheel strap. We've chosen to just not use one because we're trying to simulate real life as much as possible.
So straight arm, and when you compress, you want to bring back, and it will look like an L figure. And now I'm going to do that with the bike in a minute, but I just want you to see, and then maybe even do it yourself without lifting the bike and seeing and making sure that eventually you're really behind. So
nice. So one of the things that I really had to keep straight that confused me a lot in the beginning was my arms and my legs. So I want my arms straight, you can see with Anne-Marie, and you want your knees bent. So if you can get that straight in your head, that'll go a long ways towards perfecting your manual. And you know that your largest center of gravity is in your hips, so as soon as she moves her hips, you can see how her bike reacts. Nice.
my eyes are definitely looking up because I want to see where I'm going, versus a lot of people look down. So make sure your head is up, you're looking at the trail, you're looking where you're going, compress, butt back, butt behind, and go down.
So further to Anne-Marie's explanation of the down and back, that was one of the most important things for me to learn. So when I first started, I was just kind of going back, just back like that. But when I learned to do the L part and go down and back, you can see how much even just that one little movement changes my hang time in the air. So I'm not using my brake at all right now. And I'm trying to keep my motions really, really smooth and fluid. So I'm trying to not jerk, and I'm trying to not adjust too much. I'm also trying to keep my arms straight and my knees bent, which was something that took me about 2 days to figure out, 2 days of practice. Because if you have your knees bent, then you have somewhere to go. If your arms are straight, then you don't get as tired. So once you start getting up a little bit more, it took me about 7 days before I started using the brake at all. And when I started using the brake, I really leveled up. It really improved my hang time because it gave me some confidence and it let me know that I wasn't going to fall over backwards. So when I go too high or too far back, I squeeze the brake a little bit and that'll bring me forward. But I'm not using the brake a lot. I'm not using it at all right now. And it's just another element to be able to practice on.
I love how you bring on that it took about 7 days for you to get back. Like seriously, I felt at the beginning, the first day, I was so frustrated about it that I didn't know if I wanted to learn it. But if you put about like 5 to 10 minutes every day onto your manual trainers, within a week or two, you'll see huge process. And we're always happy to help you. Another part that I find that you suggested to me was like take video of yourself, preferably on a parallel way. So you can see how your body is like, are you doing this or are you doing that or are you doing whatever you're doing, right? So you can go back to it or whatever day. So this is our Spin Sister skill training.
Social distancing version. High five.
And if you don't have a manual trainer, it's okay. There's 2 choices that you can have, you can do, probably 3 actually. One is you can go on the road and really start learning it without it. So that's one of them. 2 is you can go on YouTube and learn how to build one. Or 3, on Tuesday, Callan's husband Bryce, the magnificent, I cannot say that word.
Magnificent.
So, that word. Bryce will be teaching us how to build one. And if you don't have the tools to build anything, I believe he is going to do a great offer to all Spin Sisters if you guys want to purchase one at a super wicked price for you guys to learn. So I hope you enjoyed this moment, and if you have any comments, questions, please make sure you reach out to us, and let's see you guys on the trail soon. Social distancing! It should look like something. Now we should go to the butt, right? Yeah. Should we start with the little... I'm on. So now we're gonna talk butts.